This is a special episode today. In celebration of the 4th of July, we're looking at the 1996 film Independence Day. I think it's a classic film.
It's a great movie. Okay. I love movies with great plots. If a movie does not have a good plot, and there's a lot of them that do not.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a good movie. Even if they get the best actors, whatever. The story is where it's at, which is what we always talk about, is story, making a good story, and this one has an excellent story.
All right, so I call this movie a classic. That might be stretching a little bit. It is a good movie. If you weren't there in the 90s, if you weren't conscious as an adult, as we were, 96 was, in the 90s, Will Smith can do no wrong. Every summer he had a new hit movie, made a new dump truck of money. They weren't always deeply genius and brilliant and artistic, but they were always fun. And this might have been the first one, I'm not sure. But it was 1996 on 4th of July weekend this movie came out. I was freshly out of the Marines. I saw a movie about Marines against aliens. I'm like, oh, of course. They came all the way across the galaxy and we're going to stop them. That's naturally how Marine Corps work, you know?
Yes.
So I'm like, let's sign me up. Let's go. Our friends insisted that we go to theater. We went to the theater. We watched it. Great fun.
Great fun.
Great fun. All right. So as I mentioned, it has Will Smith, it has Jeff Goldblum, it has an all-star cast, which we will be covering, and it has a lot of fun.
Jeff Goldblum has the best voice. He has such a great voice.
I think
he needs to be like on a GPS.
You think so?
Yeah, when you're asking your phone for directions, he needs to be that needs to be a choice on your GPS.
So the G could be the Goldblum. It could be the Goldblum positioning system.
There you go. I love that. Yes.
In this movie, we'll get to it. He does a lot of backseat driving in this movie, telling other people how to drive. I think he might be cut out for it. You know, he could be like, Goldblum, you said this way was clear. Why am I jammed? Traffic finds a way. And it was just like, no, that's not what I want for my GPS. Tell me how to get there. I think, you heard it here first. So
yes.
All right. So this movie opens on a shot of the American flag on the moon. It's a plaque on the moon, and then something casts a shadow.
And their poor little footprints get jiggled and...
Yes. You look at the footprints of the astronauts and the vibration starts smothering them. Now, physically, that doesn't work because there's no air on the moon, but we won't let that slow us down. The point is...
You do have a list of some of the things...
The implausible
things in this movie.
So that works great in planets that actually have an atmosphere, so that air does that. I don't think it works like that on the moon, but that's okay. The point was it was symbolism. Some crazy thing was shadowing the flag and wiping off the evidence of mankind off of the moon, and you're like, oh no, this can't be good.
This movie had many scenes with great symbolism.
Yes, indeed. So then we pull back and we see the reveal of what's doing all this. It's a giant saucer, and in a shot trademarked by Star Wars.
Wasn't it? Didn't you say that it was a quarter the size of the moon?
It's a quarter the size of the moon.
That's pretty big.
So they don't just cut back and show you this big ship. They take the shot that was specialized in Star Wars, where we first see that Star Destroyer and it just goes and it goes and it goes. And then Spaceballs made fun of it by doing that for like 10 minutes. It was like not quite Spaceballs level, but that ship just kept going. And there was like holes and notches and greebling and all kinds of stuff. And you're like, what is this thing? All right, so it sets the whole tone of ominous foreboding for this opening of this movie. The handful of people that know SETI, the military, they're freaking out. They're like, wait a minute, how did this thing sneak up on us? It's invisible to radar. Now, the thing that you need to know about the genre of this movie, it's a disaster movie. It kind of hails back, if you're our age and you remember vaguely the TV movies, the Airport 79 or whatever, or Earthquake. And there's all these movies of disasters, and they would have an all-star cast, and they would start out all over the country, all over the globe, and slowly they get together and join forces. And that's just kind of how this genre works. And that's exactly how this does. We have, if you watch this movie like I do and take notes like I did, it was like they were introducing a new character every 3 minutes.
That's pretty quick.
I don't know if it's 3 minutes, but it's coming awful fast.
Yeah.
So we start off and we introduce Mr. and Mrs. President, who are currently on the opposite sides of the country, which might be a bad thing for them.
It's going to be a bad thing for them.
So we have Bill Pullman, who is President Whitmore, and Mary McDonald, who is Marilyn Whitmore.
I think she does a better job playing the role of the First Lady than maybe he does as playing president.
Well, she was very determined. She was quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't like arguing with the president, but she's like, no, I think this is, he was like, well, this looks scary. You should come home. No, I have important First Lady duties and I'm going to do them. And he's like, okay, I respect that. Immediately after that, we're introduced to Constance, the president's press secretary, and she's talking about some bad headlines and how they're picking on him and saying he's not decisive enough and he's too young and he's a little boy in a big boy's job. And he doesn't pout. He's like, oh, well, that sucks if they think that. What are we going to do today? Meanwhile, in space, to kind of let you know that we're still facing a huge threat, we have this cool shot of like this human satellite, and it's flying across space until it crashes into that ship like a bird flying into a cliff. It was like, bam! It's like it doesn't hurt the cliff at all.
Doesn't do anything.
Boom! And that ship just keeps coming, and there's just not a scratch on the paint. It doesn't affect the wax.
Nope.
It was just that ship like, we don't even care that we didn't even acknowledge your presence. We're just storming through here. So then, in rapid succession, we introduce David Levinson, who is Jeff Goldblum.
And he's playing chess with his dad.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool because you would think that the dad, given his years and experience, would be able to beat him at chess. But doesn't work that way.
We quickly established that
he's really
that he
smart.
plays chess, that he's been divorced for 3 years, that he's an environmentalist who wants to save the earth, and he's a technician that works at a TV station. And then later we find out that he's an MIT genius. And so, but right off the bat, his dad says, hey, expository dialogue. These things you need to know in the next scene. Hey, aren't you divorced and working at a TV station?
Why are you still wearing your wedding ring?
And you like to play chess and say checkmate a lot? I wonder if that's going to come up later in the movie. So then, rapidly, we introduce Russell, played by Randy Quaid.
Such a great character. It's perfectly cast.
Right off of, I don't know if he kind of got like the same character off of the Vacation movies. It's a similar character. He's like, yeah, the crappers fall. That kind of subtle, delicate nuance and gravitas he brings to this role.
Drunken humor.
Yeah, he's a drunk, he's a pilot, he's a combat vet, he's an alien abductee, and he crop dusted the wrong field because he's a DUI. He's flying under the influence. So he's got 3 kids, the oldest of which is Miguel, who basically acts like a father figure. So Randy Quaid is a giant child, and Miguel actually takes care of everything. He drives the RV.
Yeah, he has to take care of his younger brother who has some kind of sickness that they need medication for. He has to take care of his teenage sister who, is doing teenage girl things, and then try to also parent his adult father.
Right.
A lot on his plate.
He's frustrated a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, if that wasn't hard, that was hard enough without aliens. Stop it.
Yes.
You're not helping. Go home. All right, so as a cool Easter egg, when they introduce his family, what are they watching on the TV? But The Day the Earth Stood Still, the black and white film from the 50s. Yeah. And the message of that film is aliens come to warn us to be good environmental stewards of the Earth. If you don't stop your atomic stuff and your pollution, we're going to take this planet away from you and give it to a more mature species. Stop it, they say. I hope the aliens we meet in this movie are just as conscientious and polite. You think that's going to happen, right? They came all that way to say hi and shake hands?
If they...
Or shake flippers or tentacles?
I mean, if they drop that, then you would think, okay, that's like a signal to what's coming next. But apparently they did kind of a opposite on you.
I hope... No, I can't believe that about aliens. They're the nice... Anyway, okay. So... in space, we go back to the mothership, and then it releases a couple dozen, maybe 15 other smaller ships.
And when we say small, we mean still very large.
They're 15 miles across, they say. And then these ships drift to all the major cities. Well, there's got to be more than 15 majors. Anyway, they drift to 15 large cities.
Well, that they talk about. There could have been more.
I don't know. It was unclear. It was unclear what cities. If you don't know your geography, you won't actually know what city they're jumping. They jump through cities pretty fast.
That's true.
If you don't recognize
But
things.
they were around the whole world.
Yes. So a big saucer starts hovering over a couple dozen large cities. Of course, once you get to be friendly and you get to know each other, it's a cultural exchange, don't you think?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so during this time, there's a lot of television interference. So you'd think that David would handle that. David shows up, rode his bicycle to his TV broadcast job, and they're like, David, fix the interference. But he is not paying any attention. They're all looking at the TV, looking at the aliens show up, and he is oblivious, absorbed in his work. And what does he discover? MIT David?
He discovers that there is a signal hidden in our own satellites.
Yes.
And it's a countdown.
The interference is just not just static. It's a 7-hour countdown. In 7 hours, something's going to happen. David's pretty convinced that that's not a happy something.
Because he's smart, as was established.
So right about then, they've continued the symbolism. A dark shadow falls over the Statue of Liberty. The saucer lands in New York, casts a shadow over the symbol of American freedom.
Which will later
I mean,
come back.
that's got to be a good sign, right? No? Okay. All right, so then we continue. We introduce Captain Hiller, Will Smith, and Jasmine DeBrow, Vivica Fox. They're on the other side of the country, in the California land, close to El Toro Air Station. And they are also oblivious of the aliens. They're sleeping in. They're having a long holiday weekend because it's the 4th of July. Will Smith walks out to take out the trash or something and looks up, and there's a saucer. He's like, that's got to go. That's not going to work.
Picks up the newspaper, and then just he's holding it in front of his face and just reading the newspaper like nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden he turns to his right, turns to his left, and it's like,
He can't figure out why everyone else is freaking out.
Yeah.
Then he looks up. Like, those aliens.
Yeah.
Right. So he has a nice conversation with Vivica, a kind of conversation I think it might have happened in our house a couple times. It's like, I got to go into work. We got to save the world. No. You got a holiday. You got a day off. You don't have to save the world. Settle down. Of course, these days it works the opposite way. Camille, this is your day off. Stay off that computer. The world will save itself. But it's gone both ways. But he says, no. I am a Marine Corps airman. I got to get back. We got to fly some ships. We got to do some stuff. Aliens are definitely in the Marine Corps charter. We got to deal with this. So he leaves her and he goes. He says, meet me at the base.
Yeah, she's very upset that he's leaving. So he kind of gives her like this, what I felt like was a like token, calm down, honey. Why don't you just come to the base later? Oh, really? I can do that? You know, because I don't think he's ever brought her there before.
Yeah. She's an exotic dancer. He's not exactly proud of her career. It's kind of causing him some political issues in his career.
Yeah.
So sometimes what you really need is a huge threat to clarify your values. If like a huge saucer showed up or something, he could stop fishing or cutting bait and decide which way he was going to go.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to happen later in the movie?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It could. Hang on. Stick around. It could happen. So when he gets to base, we introduce his friend, Captain Jimmy Wilder, also a pilot, played by Harry Connick Jr., who is a musician. Not really an actor. He's been in a few things, but they give him this role.
He did okay.
What was interesting is that he's Will Smith's comic relief. So when you give the comedian a comic relief, you're like, that's interesting. And I feel like it was just trying to make Will Smith look a little bit more like an action hero. There's somebody goofier than you so that you look serious and important.
I think they did a good job.
And then later, Will Smith makes a couple jokes, but usually just while he's blowing stuff up. He's kind of get that Schwarzenegger action one-liner thing going on. He's trying to kind of segue from a goofier part of his career to a more serious part of his career, maybe. So Captain Steve Hiller gets a rejection letter from NASA. Steve, you're not going to space, they tell him.
Yeah, this was really kind of sad. He was really looking forward to this, and his buddy reads the letter out loud to him, and it's very disappointing. He's having a real hard moment there.
Yeah. But there are bigger fish to fry, in this case, large alien tentacled fish, and so they move on. As another interesting semi-Easter egg, they raise up a giant helicopter with lights on it. It's kind of reminiscent to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where they go, moo, 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 moo. If you were our age, you remember that, because it was all the time. And they would flash the lights, and this international communication of light and music, and love finds a way, and the aliens shoot that sucker down like it was a mosquito. You're like, I don't think they're here.
It's like, fully.
I don't think they understood our message. Maybe they played the wrong note. Maybe that shouldn't have been a sharp. I think you screwed it all up. Actually, helicopter didn't play music, but still, it was the same. Maybe it's the wrong light bulb.
They should have. They should have.
It was a daylight bulb. I understand it.
They should have used a warmer light. Absolutely.
Daylight bulbs are evil.
Daylight bulbs are not good.
Carrying on. So, right about there, we start bringing the characters together. The first characters start linking up. So we discover, surprise, surprise, David's ex that he's been divorced from 3 years that he's still pining for is Constance, the press secretary, conveniently positioned next to the president. So he gets his dad to even ride to D.C. where he can go warn her about the aliens.
Yeah, but he didn't just decide to drive there. Like you can feel the tension between them because he tries to call her and he tries to warn her what's
she
going
hangs up on him.
and she hangs up on him. So he decides, I'm going to have to do this in person.
Well, we did find out later that at one point he got in a fist fight with the president. So maybe when he's calling you in the middle of emergency, you don't consider this as like, I will deal with your shenanigans later. I've got some higher level shenanigans. We'll talk about this in a minute. All right, so he gets his dad to drive him to the White House. And in a nice parallel to Jurassic Park, which is just a few years earlier, he's like, can't this thing go any faster?
That was such a great scene. I love that. Must go faster. Must go faster.
I really think, in addition to the GPS thing, I think Goldblum backseat driving could be a whole movie genre. I think I would pay to see a lot of shows like that.
That'd be great.
They have that coffee and car with comedians. It could just be
Yes.
Jeff Goldblum tells you how to drive and how bad you're doing.
Yes.
I think it'd be a moneymaker. I'd sign up for it. All right, so he finally gets a hold of her and warns her about the aliens. The aliens are not your friend. So about this time, the ships start opening up with a warm, inviting blue glow.
Such a lovely blue glow.
Yes.
Like a bug light.
I'm sure every bug thinks a zapper, it looks beautiful too.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
didn't in Finding Nemo, didn't they go, oh, the light, so pretty?
It was one of them. I don't know which one it was. Yeah, it's like, bzzzt, and get
Yeah.
zapped. Yeah.
Yep.
And then what happens after the thing lights up and it makes this cool charging noise that's never a good sign. And then space lasers.
Never a
Space
good
lasers. They blow up LA. They blow up the White House. Mr. President and David and Constance and their crew barely escape. Just in time.
And the poor Statue of Liberty, her head is
Yeah,
down
yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah, it's not good. We come back later and we see the Statue of Liberty face down like it's bowing to the aliens. If you weren't paying attention to the symbolism, somebody somewhere in his popcorn says, hey, that ain't good. And it's like, wait, have you been paying attention?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And then the thing about the president barely escaping is that the president was trying to make a good decision and said, hey, everybody, instead of trying to evacuate and getting caught on the freeways and starting fist fights and gunfights and stuff, just stay home until we figure this out. And so he realizes that was a bad call. He kept everybody in the big cities, and the cities got blown up, and then he felt like a bad president.
Yeah,
Which we will revisit that.
Yeah, he's really feeling sad about this. He's feeling remorse. He's like, all these people that could have gotten away if I had acted sooner.
And not only is it his responsibility, it's also like survivor's guilt. We find out that he's a combat vet. He was a fighter pilot in Desert Storm. You know, the whole thing of you escaping and leaving other people to die, that's not in the code. You don't do that.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe in the Space Force they do that, but I don't.
I don't know anything about
Anyway,
Space Force.
so meanwhile in L.A., Jasmine, who's trying to get to El Toro, and the baby boy, and their dog,
And the dog. Don't
and the
forget the
dog,
dog. So
all
important.
miraculously escape from this explosion. Jasmine grabs the baby, flies between parked cars. In her high heels, she kicks a metal door, knocks it open, climbs inside like this concrete-looking closet, closes the door.
Yeah, but didn't you say that wasn't the most
Implausible. It was pretty implausible. Like this closet, like they are hiding from the storm. Like, don't tell them we're in here. So it blows up all of LA, and then they open the door and like, oh look, we miraculously survived. It's like we had plot armor or something. But that was pretty unbelievable. But that is not the most unbelievable thing that happens in this movie. We will tell you that later. We're building. It's a Casey Kasem countdown. We're building to number 1. Stick with us. All right, so then there's a supercut. While they're in the closet, hiding from the storm, there's a supercut of flames, walls of flames, cars fly through the air, fire engines fly through the air, other large, heavy things fly through the air, things explode, people look doomed, and then they all get scorched. And you might ask yourself, why is this? Ask me why this is.
Why is this?
Because Roland Emmerich hates the Earth.
No.
He does.
No.
He does. I don't want to call it prejudice, but Roland Emmerich hates the Earth. So Roland Emmerich is the director of this film. It was his first big hit, but it wasn't the only time he tried to kill us all. So listen to this. In 1984, you listen to the evidence, and then you tell me. In 1984, Roland Emmerich does the movie Stargate that launched the series. In this movie, aliens have kidnapped millions of humans and enslaved them into multiple planets across the galaxy.
Okay.
2 years later, in 1996, we have this movie. Aliens have come to this planet to kill millions of us because they got tired of enslaving us.
But that's only 2. Okay. Oh, wait, there's more?
There's more. 1998, Godzilla. A radioactive iguana takes over New York and breeds 6 billion babies to eat us all.
But that's just New York.
2004, Day After Tomorrow.
Well, yeah,
A random fluke of global cooling freezes all of North America and everybody turns into giant popsicles.
That's true.
Except for Randy Quaid's brother, who went out and rescued his boy.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid.
Because he's got antifreeze for blood. It doesn't affect him.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, Roland Emmerich doesn't really care for North America, apparently. In 2009, we have the movie 2012, in which this time the core of the Earth heats up rapidly for no good reason and starts scorching people and melting ice and causing tidal waves and basically just killing almost everybody that didn't make it to Noah's Ark.
Do any movies that aren't?
He did like a Shakespeare film, but I haven't seen it. I don't know how Shakespeare killed us all, but somehow he did.
Okay.
And then, last but not least, in 2022, Moonfall. You'll never guess what happens in this movie.
The moon falls.
The moon that we love and trust tries to fall from orbit and kill us all.
Kill us all.
If there's any way to kill all of humanity, Roland Emmerich has already thought about it. Just go call him up. If you're a terrorist, you're looking for a plan, call up Roland. He's got it figured out.
Wow.
I'm just saying. All right, so as we mentioned, in New York City, the Statue of Liberty's fallen on its face.
I feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
She stood a long time.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe she's just taking a rest now.
Maybe she's taking a nap.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's
she's pretty
taking-
old.
yeah.
She could take a little
Take a
breather.
rest. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can put her back together.
I'm sure if we survive this, we can.
I'm sure they can put her
build it
back
up
together.
again.
Absolutely.
Bigger and better.
Big.
Oh, we'll make it a robotic Statue of Liberty that can turn into a spaceship fighter plane in case aliens ever come back, like a little
okay.
Gundam Voltron action.
Oh yeah. Okay, I like that.
Roland Emmerich could write that down. What if we win? All right. So Will Smith and the Flying Marines decide that they're going to attack the giant ship that's over L.A. And it works. They launch missiles. Everything looked beautiful, except for that the ships have shields. They have a cool technology that we don't have. They can't hit that mini mothership.
You know, they really should have studied how they went into mines. They sent the birds in first to check to make sure that the oxygen was good.
That's true.
I know they were short on time, but they really should have sent up some kind of drone or something
Some way to test it.
Yeah, I think that was really poor planning on their part.
So I'm not in air warfare. I haven't piloted anything or shot anything, but when I was looking at the little screens and everything, they showed all the airplanes in a single line, all firing their missiles at the exact same time, and all the missiles went at exactly perfectly aligned, and I'm like, that seems pretty organized for the Marine Corps I know. I don't feel like it would all pull off like that. I feel like everyone would be kind of shooting as they got their shot instead of all lining up in single file. Anyway. So they didn't make it through, and then the big alien ship also has smaller fighters that come out. They also have shields, and you can't shoot them down.
Right. It's like there's no winning in this one.
Unless you're Will Smith.
Will
Smith manages to shoot one down.
He does.
That was a great scene. If you're watching it and you're eating popcorn and you're getting nervous, opens the hatch, welcome to Earth, and punches that guy right in the face. His little tentacles droop, like, yeah.
You
Take that.
Mess with my Independence Day weekend. Dang it. I was going to have fun and have a break, and then you come and you just mess up my whole weekend.
That was basically like, you come over here with your skanky little tentacles to ruin my holiday and shoot my buddy down. And yeah, he was not happy.
No.
All right, so in keeping with the disaster genre, the characters start coming more and more together. I'll point this out right now. So this movie is not like a super deep movie as you're figuring this out right now. It doesn't really, it's an entertaining story, but at the same time, it kind of feels like some kids dumped out a bunch of toys on a table and put like a bunch of characters on the edges of the table and helicopters and aliens. And like, okay, now you come over here and you do this and you do this. Roland seemed like have a lot of fun. He was having a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad.
Millions of people died, but at least he was having a good time.
But I mean, if that's his jam, you know, he likes to blow the earth up or kill people off the earth, or if that's his jam. I mean, apparently he was having a good time with it.
Once you've seen it, you can't really unsee it. You watch this whole movie and you can kind of see a little kid's hand. Yeah, and then my helicopter gets blown up. Yeah, well then my spaceships have got shields. You can't have shields. That's not fair. You can see the whole thing. I can see it. It's cool. All right, so the characters start coming together. the president, David, Constance, even Russell, Randy Quaid, and now Will Smith all meet up
in Area
51,
51, which is real.
It is a real place.
It's real.
It's a real place.
Yes. For reals.
We've driven past it. We didn't like sneak on base or anything.
No.
No. That's why we're still here and not in jail. So, important tip. So, waiting for them in Area 51 is Adam Baldwin.
Such a great character.
Adam Baldwin is great.
Such a great character.
And he's all serious, but you can still see the Jane in him.
Yeah.
The Firefly Jane.
Yeah.
Can I shoot him? It's like, no, you can't shoot him.
So good.
And
then Brent Spiner.
Brent Spiner as Dr. Oaken, the mad scientist. Oh, you guys are here. This is so cool.
It's so great.
It's like after years of playing like an emotionless android, he's like, I'm going to have all the emotions.
All the
It's like,
emotions.
ooh, I love it.
It's
Another kid, like, ooh, look at what it does. It does this too. He was also obsessed and didn't pay attention what the aliens were doing because the technology came on.
Yeah.
That's an important plot point because now that the ship is here, apparently they have a centralized power source. The power source on the ship made even the ship that we captured work now. If only there was some way to turn off the power of that mothership, we might stand a chance.
That's right.
We cut back out to L.A., where Jasmine rescues Mrs. President because her helicopter came down. She didn't quite make it out of California. Then Will Smith steals the helicopter and goes to El Toro and rescues his girlfriend and the kid and the dog and Mrs. President. And I guess because he came back with Mrs. President, all was forgiven because he wasn't really authorized to steal that helicopter.
Yes, exactly. But he knew that she was going to be there because she had said that, he had invited her to come to stay on base.
Meet me at El Toro.
Yeah, meet me at El Toro. So he knew where she was going to be.
That
So
could be
it wasn't
like a romantic song from the 40s.
So it wasn't like he searched a ton of areas in California. He knew where to look.
And there wasn't much left of El Toro. So there was the smoky ruins and then 12 people still alive, and he just came and got them.
Right. Weren't they having like a little campfire thing too?
She had been rescuing survivors. Jasmine is not the type of person to get slowed down by alien invasions.
That's right.
Like
She's gonna
grabbed a
take
big dump
care of the
truck and
business.
started rescuing people, and anyone looked like they needed help, she rescued them. And lo and behold, someone threw away a perfectly good first lady, and she gathered her up too and said, come on, we're going to El Toro. So now all of the players are now in the one position, Area 51. And then so we find Will Smith's captured alien, and then the president does an accidental mind meld with him, and I was like, what do you want from us? What do you want us to do?
Die!
The alien's like, die! And then the president gets a glimpse inside the brain of the alien, and he brings back the report. They're like space locusts.
Yeah.
They show up on a planet, they consume everything, they kill everybody, and then they move on and do it again. And then in a sad note, Mrs. President didn't make it. The crash was not good for her, and she dies. And so the president has the guilt from keeping people in their city, and then the stress of the whole world ending under his watch. And then his wife dies, and then a lot of people would snap right here. I mean, if this was Starfleet, they would you need to be in a rubber room, and we'll let the VP. Except there wasn't a VP. The VP and the whole cabinet got blown up.
The whole cabinet got blown up in Washington, D.C. Before they couldn't get out because they had sent them to the bunker, and
the bunker got blown up.
Yeah,
and
so they were all gone.
This could be in a civics class. What happens to the chain of command when all the chain of command gets melted by aliens? I don't know who's next. Maybe the general there at 51. He might be the next. I don't know.
It's not good.
After his wife dies, Bill Pullman comes out, and his daughter says, oh, where's Mommy? Is she sleeping? And he says, yes, Mommy's sleeping, which was very sad. But if you're me, you also thought that Bill Pullman could be in a different movie with Sandra Bullock. When did you defeat the aliens? While you were sleeping. I just thought that would be great. But,
You're so wrong for that. You
I'm
are so wrong for that.
Multiple levels of wrongness here, yes. So, at this moment, a drunken Jeff Goldblum has an idea. What about a computer virus? That's right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, bracketeers of all calibers. Here on Earth, our malware is so powerful, so devastating, that even aliens with advanced technology can't stand in the face of our...
Well, it's just something he says we're going to give it a cold. And, there's... sometimes a cold can be debilitating. It can be pretty bad.
So I don't know much about cybersecurity or coding and stuff, but the people that do make fun of this scene quite a lot. Like, yeah, like their code is going to match with our code, right? This is still not the most implausible thing that happens in this movie. Just to let you know. We're counting down, but we're not there yet. So that's their plans. They launch a last chance mission with Steve and David, Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum on the captured alien ship.
To put the virus
in the mothership. They go in there. They have great antics. They get to chat back and forth and talk, and Jeff gets to do some more backseat driving in space and stuff. Steve and David are on the ship. They manage to drop the shields, but they can't escape. They're trapped on the ship because this is suspense and tension.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the people down on Earth, on their jet fighters, they're able to take the fight to the aliens. Randy Quaid and all the different fighter pilots from around the world, including Mr. President, gets in the ship to take on the aliens.
Yeah.
There's only one link left in the chain of command, but they're like, we're going to risk it.
And he has a young daughter.
And his young daughter waiting for him. But, I mean, the ship was on its way to Alien 51. It was going to blow him up. He was going to die one way or another. He's like, I'm going to die with my boots on. Or
I like that, Alien 51.
Yeah, Area 51. Anyway, so he's like, I'm going down fighting.
Yes.
You know. So they're all having the fight. Randy Quaid comes in, makes the sacrifice play. His missile won't launch, so he kamikazes into the ship, into the alien ship.
Yep. He goes into the light.
He flies into the light like the bug light and blows it all up. And that was rough. We're definitely not advocating self-destruction here, but Miguel was there and he watched the whole thing.
Makes him really proud of his dad.
He got to be proud of his dad. So it was like, even at the last second of his life, he was able to recast the story of his life and kind of redeem a bunch of bumbling and fumbling and be a hero in the end.
Absolutely.
And I think that's possibly the only message from this film, is that it's never too late.
It's never too late.
It's never too late to change your story. Randy Quaid is the inspirational hero of this film.
Yes.
Who saw it coming.
Not us.
But it's also as a great reward for Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith, too, because Jeff Goldblum, the uber environmentalist, gets to save the world from overconsumpting
That's
aliens.
Right. And Will Smith
gets to go to space.
He gets to go to space. Gets to be the astronaut.
So by answering the call of adventure and leaving the comfort zone, these people got to do what they've been pining to do. Their live stream, even though it involved, explosions and the Roland Emmerich treatment.
Yeah.
So somehow, Steve and David managed to escape the mothership. It's not somehow. There's a bunch of cool stuff, but
that's right.
It's beyond it. Anyway, they got away.
Yeah.
And even more backseat driving from Jeff Goldblum. Must move faster. Must move faster. We can do that for like on-ramps here on the freeway.
That's the best part, really.
Yes. If you have your Goldblum GPS, and when people try to merge onto the freeway at 30 miles an hour, must go faster. Must go faster. I would pay a bonus for that to put it in other people's cars.
Yes.
So Jeff and Steve survive the explosion. The ship explodes. There's a huge shockwave. You don't know if they lived or died.
That's the most implausible.
It's still coming. Okay. So they crash land on Earth. They walk away. There's the fires in the background. They don't look back like they're cool heroes.
That's the most implausible?
Jasmine, the girlfriend, comes and gives Steve a big hug.
But she's a wife now.
Yes, they got married. They're officially married, so they have their first after alien invasion hug of their married life. And then Constance comes up and gives David a big hug, and it kind of implies maybe they might be on the path of reconciliation.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a new start.
That's right.
But that is still not the most implausible thing. That honor belongs to Mr. President, Bill Pullman. He's fresh from a nerve-wracking fighter plane dogfight. He's got high adrenaline. The fate of the world is on his shoulders and certain death. So he pulls off his sweaty pilot's helmet to reveal perfect Hollywood hair. That is the most implausible part of this entire movie. He's like, oh, we almost died. And like, hi, my name is Bill. I'll be your president. What can I do for you? I'm just like, come on, man. A little dirt under the eyes, a little sweat. Oh, no. He was ready for his close-up.
Perfect makeup, perfect hair. Okay.
It was beautiful. As we mentioned, this was not a deep movie. None of the characters grew a whole lot. There wasn't a huge dramatic character arc. But it was a lot of fun, and as we saw, a lot of the characters were able to leave their comfort zone.
Great way to celebrate Independence Day.
Yes. So you can kind of maybe put yourselves a little bit in these shoes, or maybe you're a Steve or a David. You're a frustrated technician who really wants to save the Earth. Is there some way, Steve thought he was never going to go to space, but he did. Russell saved the whole world, pull his act together at the last minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's things that we can work with here.
Absolutely.
And
But as a public service announcement,
yes,
let's just say that fireworks and safety.
yes.
Don't
Yes.
hold the fireworks in your hand after you light them. That's bad.
I could see certain parallels to Russell's missile still strapped to the airplane and people's bottle rockets still in their hand.
Don't do that.
It's not gonna end well. Just don't do that. Don't do that. So a good point from this movie is that all the characters came together as a tribe. Each one contributed their own skills. No one was insisting that they were the hero or everyone else had to bow to them. Even the president heard people out. For a movie about independence, everyone really worked as a team. There was no lone heroes in there.
That's a great takeaway from this movie. I like that.
And then even the president took ownership of his mistakes. He knew that he should have evacuated earlier. He found later, and he didn't deny that. He was like, no, I never make mistakes. But he also didn't let it fold him over. He's like, that was pretty bad, but the war's still on, and we have to keep moving. And so that was a good role model for us. Is like you own your mistakes and you learn from them and you move on. It's just as bad.
It's good leadership.
Yeah,
he was representing very good leadership in the moment.
You don't want to be in denial, like you never make mistakes, but then again, you don't want them to just to gut you and you can't move on, especially in a crisis situation.
That's right.
You got to be able to keep moving on and helping people. You got to address an issue and then recalculate.
There you go.
So we don't really have any big takeaways. This is kind of a fun episode for us.
Yeah, except the fact that be safe.
Okay, our takeaway.
Be
Are
safe.
you thinking about being too close to fireworks? Are you sure that's a good idea? Do you have 911 on speed dial?
No, don't. Please be safe while using fireworks.
Yes.
And maintain a safe distance.
And have a great holiday.
Happy 4th of July.